Now, later today, President Trump is expected to withdraw his backing for the international agreement that restricts Iran's nuclear program. The US State Department says that over the past few days, it's been calling the other signatories to that accord, Britain, France, Germany, China and Russia, to consult. The nuclear agreement with the so-called P5+1 has unanimous support in Europe, and the Europeans have been lobbying against the Trump administration's expected action. Before 2015, according to UK officials, there was a high risk of Iran developing a nuclear missile. They had 19,000 centrifuges running, 8,000 kilograms of low-enriched uranium, and a stockpile of weapons-grade uranium. They were months from getting the bomb. Today, the risk level, even bearing in mind the possibility of covert nuclear activity, is significantly lower. Since 2015, Britain says Iran has given up 2/3 of its centrifuges. There's a 300-kilo limit on its uranium stockpile, and that'll stay in place for 15 years. And it's shipped out 95% of its uranium stockpile, including all weapons-grade material. Well, let's go live now to Tehran. Professor Mohammad Marandi is from the University of Tehran. He joins me from there. Thank you very much for speaking to us on GMT. What is Iran's response going to be, do you think, if, as expected, President Trump decertifies this deal?
I don't know, because these decisions are made behind closed doors. But if he does decertify the deal, it discredits the United States. Basically, he's sending a message to the international community that you should not negotiate with the United States because they will not abide by their commitments. They may sign up to something today and tear it up tomorrow. The Iranians, though, if they ultimately see that the nuclear agreement becomes a meaningless piece of paper, they will exit the agreement.
Yes, I suppose the key question is whether Iran and the government will be prepared to sort of see what Donald Trump's about to do as a gesture and hold off any action until they judge what might happen in the Congress, because of course it's only the Congress that can reimpose the sanctions.
Well, even such a gesture violates the agreement, because the United States, after Iran had agreed to numerous concessions, the United States was supposed to, in accordance with the agreement, facilitate the normalization of Iranian trade. And under both Obama and Trump, the United States has repeatedly violated that. And in this particular case, this would be another major violation, because by making such a statement, Trump will be putting fear into the hearts of European investors. And the only thing that really could make a difference is if European countries, instead of verbally opposing the United States and making declarations, that they take practical measures to stop the United States, to threaten the United States with punishment if they intimidate their businesses or their business people. So at the moment, again, it's unclear what will happen, but the Iranians will definitely respond if there is a violation of the agreement.
Let me ask you this. What is the standing of the agreement amongst the Iranian population, the people, do you think? I mean, in other words, do the Iranian people want this deal to continue, and is it seen to be very important to Iran's efforts to economically recover?
Well, from the very beginning, it was a controversial deal. There were people who opposed it, and there were people who supported it, and there were people who were in the middle. But the Iranians signed up to it, and because of that, everyone agreed, both in the political establishment, political parties, different factions, that once the agreement has been signed, that we will commit ourselves to it. And the Iranians, according to the International Atomic Energy Agency, have abided by the agreement in full, and they've even gone a bit further, because at times they did things sooner than they were supposed to in accordance with the agreement. But I would also like to add one other thing, and that is that one thing that we're hearing in the media is that the United States may declare the Iranian Revolutionary Guards a terrorist entity. If the United States does that, then I think they should expect that the Iranians in response will see the U.S. armed forces as a terrorist entity. The Iranian Revolutionary Guards have stopped ISIS and Al-Qaeda, which the United States and its allies have directly or indirectly supported over the past few years and have destroyed so much of the region. So the Iranians feel that expanding the sanctions against the country and including the armed forces as a terrorist entity is crossing a red line.
Do you think that Tehran sees an opportunity here to drive a wedge between the United States and its traditional allies in Europe?
I think there is a huge opportunity because under Obama, the United States had a lot more soft power. The United States, of course, behaved, from the Iranian perspective, very inappropriately. They imposed sanctions on ordinary Iranians. Many Iranians died as a result of a lack of medicine during the height of the sanctions that Obama imposed. And of course, we have Syria, Yemen, Libya, and all the others. However, Obama, since he had a very capable soft power ability, he was able to build a consensus with allies. Trump, fortunately for Iran and much of the rest of the world, has alienated almost everyone. And he's also created major divisions inside the United States. And I think that creates huge opportunities for Iran, both with Russia and China, but also with European countries, Latin American countries, and regional countries. So yes, I think that Trump has been, in this regard, a gift.
Well, very briefly, what's your instinct? Do you think 6 months from now, if we are to talk, the deal will be dead or not?
It's hard to say. I don't think that the United States wants to formally exit the agreement. I think what they want to do is have their cake and eat it. They want to stay in the agreement, keep the Iranians enforcing their side of the bargain, yet continue to impose more and more sanctions to effectively make the agreement meaningless so that Iran is forced to pull out. That is highly hypocritical, but I think that people already see what Trump is doing, because all the different countries that have been a part of the agreement, including the International Atomic Energy Agency and the EU, they have all said that Iran has been abiding by the agreement, so they see exactly what's going on.
All right, we have to end there, but Mohammad Marandi in Tehran, thanks for being on GMT.